welcome to another show of Don't Get This Twisted. I am Rob, along with my co-host, as always, Teda. How you doing?
I'm dragging ass, Rob, but other than that, I'm doing all right. It was a super busy weekend for me. Actually, gearing up for the last couple of weeks have been insane. So I think I'm coming off of all of that. And I'm not a morning person, so it's not even 9 o'clock yet. And I've already been showered and on the podcast. So, you know, I'm going to be tired. How are you?
You know me. I've been up since 5 a.m. and
I know,
at the park at 6.
I don't know why you'd want to do that.
I got to run that dog. That dog. He's crazy as hell. And here's the thing. I take him really early because the dog park starts getting packed around 7-ish. And he has a way of getting a little testy sometimes. And if he's tired, he'll get really testy. And then,
like me. Yeah.
So I just take him so I can run the shit out of him and he'll come home and sleep the rest of the day or most of the day.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah. Now that I'm still off. So my shoulder is not healing as quickly as I anticipated.
Well, you hope for the best, expect the worst, and somewhere in the middle, it'll all happen.
Yeah, I've kind of decided that because I was going to try to hurry back to work. If I can stay on disability and not have to go back for maybe another month after that, I'm going to try to do it just because I'm having, not that I'm having issues. It's just my mobility isn't where I want it to be or where it should be. I'm a little behind.
Yeah.
So, I just don't want to go back and be hurt. I just, there's no need for that.
There's absolutely no need for that.
So, we, like always, we always have some kind of show to talk about, and we do, but we're not going to, because I think, there's some issues that we probably want to talk about that we probably need to wait on. You know what I mean? Like do a little more research, or before we stick our feet in our own mouth, probably shouldn't. So I thought, because we were shooting the shit right before we got on here, we should just shoot the shit today.
Let's shoot the shit.
We every blue moon we do a, hey, what's going on with this podcast? Because, the people who actually do know us get updates from here.
Right.
But
that's true. They do.
They I mean, it's crazy. Like my mom, when she was alive, used to listen to the show to find out what was going on. Like literally.
Yeah.
So kind of interesting. But you did have a interesting weekend. I saw your posts. See, I'm going to kind of say something that's probably horrible, but not really horrible. I want a basket, but they're way expensive. So I'm going to have to dribble some money to you and have you make one for me as we go.
Do you know how expensive they are?
Yes, you've told me how expensive they are.
Oh. Well, Rob, we're friends. Like, you just had to say you wanted a basket, you fool.
But I'm also not one that I don't look people's crafting. It's a kind of like photography. I give breaks to everybody, and everyone I know from the other side go, why do you keep doing that? You should be making money. And I'm like, yeah, I know, but I really just love doing it.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I want to buy one, but I think we're going to have to kind of sit down and so you can actually design one for me. Cause I want to put it on my, when you walk in my house to the right, there's that big, huge shelf.
Yeah.
And it's usually my Hobby Lobby shelf, because I buy all my shit from Hobby Lobby and put it on there. Or it's like big Star Wars statues. One of the two.
Yeah.
I need to stick to Hobby Lobby. It's way cheaper. Those Star Wars statues are like $700 a piece.
Right.
So I need to stick to the easy ones, but I'll have you make me something so I can put it on there, because I still have a little bit of room left.
Yeah.
So, how was your weekend, and how did you guys sell out again?
No, I sold half of my inventory though, which
Okay,
was
good, good.
super cool. Um, so I was hoping we'd sell out because I always hope we sell out. That's a lot of work. We put a year worth of work out for people to purchase our stuff.
Mhm.
We sold half, or I sold half. I don't know what my cousin did yet, but anyway, we did really well. We did really well. I was interviewed for a local newspaper, and then they
Ooh,
printed it. They messed it all up with what was said, but she was just jotting down notes. She didn't even like record me. So, and I'm kind of a you know, literal person, so I didn't like the way it came out. But I was like, hey, I'm still in the newspaper. Like that's
right.
kind of a cool thing, and not just a little bit. Like I was in it quite a bit. So that was super cool. Um, we got we got hit up from Disney to do one of their powwows again as a vendor, which is amazing because it's Disney. We
Mhm.
also got hit up by Warner Brothers. They want to have us as a vendor at their event. I don't know exactly what the event is. I don't think we're going to be able to do it though, just because we don't have the inventory to do all these things.
Right.
And then we're going to end up at the Chumash Interpretive Center in Thousand Oaks. And that'll be the one that we finish up with. Now, mind you, we didn't have any of these venues hooked up. We weren't even thinking about making them for them. We do it for our own powwow. And
Right.
and we do very well. Like it's funny how people come up to me and this is the second year, and one of them said, I already have 3 of your baskets I've collected, so I'm gonna buy 2 more today. And I'm like, what, you're collecting my stuff already? Like I
That's
just
cool.
put it out. Like that amazed me. And it's funny because we don't tell the people that are buying who did it, who made it. So is it, Tina that made it or her cousin that made it? And it was funny
Mhm.
because my friend bought 2, and at the end he's like, okay, who made what? Please tell me I got one of yours. And I'm like, yeah, you got one of each of ours. And he's like, oh, okay, cool. Like he was
So
it
so you don't mark it at all with something that's
we
yours?
don't mark whose it is. It's one or the other of ours that have made them, and we're in business together, so we just go at that. But the people that know us, or the people that come specifically for our things, if
Mhm.
they ask, I'll tell them. But I've had people come
Okay.
up for me and they've bought 4 baskets from my cousin. And then
Sure.
she's had people come up to buy stuff and they've only bought stuff from me. So it's kind of funny how it works out, but we don't care. It's our business. It's what we're doing. And that's that. So that part was fun. Um, yeah, it was cool. It was cool to do that. Cool to talk to people. It was cool to get hit up by the newspaper and all these other venues that want us. Like, who knew? I had no idea that doing something as a hobby. Well, actually, it started to be something to do to heal. Like our broken heart. We had all there was 4 of us that originally started, and we had all lost our mothers at one point in time or the other, and just needed female energy around us. Like
Mhm.
for whatever reason, we just needed each other. And then my cousin and I, we went bat out of hell with it because we could obsess about things. Uh, I don't know if you knew that about me, but anyway, we got way
No,
into it.
not at all.
No, not at all. So we got way into it, and now this business is coming out of it, and financially, I think we did better than we thought we would, which was awesome. And like I said, we just got a lot of praise and a lot of support. I love when my friends that don't have anything to do with being native just come out and hang with me for the day. um I'm on the whole time. So when somebody comes up, I'm talking to them, and it's not easy. I don't know if you guys realize how not easy it is. Like it's beyond to talk to people you don't know, and then to kind of connect with them, and then to make them feel like you're listening and you're there with them, and it was energy wise, it was a lot. I mean, it drained us. We were both in bed right after we got home and just knocked out. And then in the morning we were dragging ass trying to get the energy to do it again, but we did. And I do enjoy doing that. But I noticed that my dad, he's like really low energy since then. My cousin is very low energy. It's hard to be on for that many hours and make small talk with that many people and share yourself and your stories. Like I know I do the podcast, but there's so much I don't share. And there's so much I don't get into just because of the people that I have to relate with or the people that I don't want to relate with.
Mm-hmm.
We've got our stalkers, our exes, our, kids and former friends and whomever else that we don't want listening to our podcast. So it's kind of, it's, even though we don't want it and we choose to stay away from certain things, like
Sure.
we know they know what we're doing, even though we don't know what they're doing. I'm okay with that because I don't want to know. I don't want to put that much energy into it, but it does make you a little bit vulnerable to things. And, so doing my baskets was definitely that. Plus, I'm kind of like the background staff when it comes to the Native community and stuff. Like I look white, even though I'm very Native. And if you see my dad, you notice that I'm very Native, but,
Correct.
I've never been one to be at the forefront of that. I kind of like to be in the background. So this has really pushed me to the front of it and said, all right, teen, now you called it up, here it goes. And all I did was make a basket. Like it's, but the energy's always kind of pulled me to be that. So here I am. I'm doing everything that makes me uncomfortable. And it was great. Like I got to see my friends' kids that they brought them, and like the little babies, my little cousins that I don't normally see, the people that I stay in contact with, but I should connect with more. But I'm already so busy. I don't know how I could do it, but I should make more time for the people that showed up for me. And I'm so appreciative of them. And it was the biggest powwow that we've had yet. The turnout was amazing, and the weather, thank God, was amazing. Last year it was like 102 and we were in the sun the whole time. It was disgusting how much sweat a body could produce. But this year was great. And we both got to take off and hang out with our friends. My ex even showed up. I thought he was out of town. I thought he was way out of town. He says he wasn't going to make it. He had texted me and asked if we could talk for a few minutes. And I said, I can't. I'm so busy. You caught me at work. I'm 3 people, booked three in. There's 3 at a time going on. And then when I'm done, I got to go over to my cousin's house and I got to put the price tags on this. I got 3 people I need to call on my way from work to my cousin's house, which gives me about 10 minutes to call all 3 people. And then, I'm going to be busy until later in the evening. And so I didn't talk to him. I totally forgot to call him back. And then, like midday, I'm looking out into the crowd and I see this guy that looks familiar. And I look and I'm like, oh my gosh, what are you doing here? And I was so surprised. But you know what? I really appreciated him coming out and being supportive. And I wanted to show him everything because he didn't come last year either. And he's big on, you need to build your business and you need to put work into it and you need to put money into it. And, so I showed him the banners and all the stuff that we did and the business cards and the wrapping that we put our baskets in. And he was impressed, which made me feel good because he has always been one of my biggest critics, but also one of my biggest fans. Like we still have that relationship. So I was really glad that he came out. And I had some new friends that had never been to powwow show up and I got to hang out with them a little bit and show them around. And, everybody got their blessings from my father, which everybody loves my dad. So it was a good time. It was a good couple of days. But coming out of that, I was exhausted. I was so tired to the point where all I wanted to do was cry. So the next morning, my friend calls up and he and I go riding a lot. And he says, I don't want to be here at work. And he goes, I want to ditch. And I said, well, let's go. Not thinking that he would take me literally. I just said, let's go. Cause that's what I always say. Like, let's get on the bikes and go. But, he ended up saying, you got an hour and I'm going to be there. So let's, get ready and let's go. So got on the bikes. And he noticed that my energy was just off. My energy was off for most of the day, but I think it was just from being so completely drained that all I wanted to do was cry. So we went on the bike together, and I was sitting in the back, and I had this like moment where I couldn't stop crying. Like the tears were coming out. I felt like I was looking at myself in the mirror going, why are you freaking out right now? Like I had this whole like just emotional purge. And he was like, are you okay? Because I guess he could feel it, even though he couldn't really see me because I was right behind him. He goes, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, I'm good. And he's like, are you sure? I'm like, yeah, I'm just kind of tired, and kept going. But at the end, he's like, all right, what was really going on? And I was super emotional. Don't know why. Just tired, I guess. But the motorcycle ride, although it wasn't like all completely happy like I am most of the time, I worked out whatever it was, and I feel so much better. I think just being on for 2 days and having to talk to people and do and be was a lot of energy went out. So I'm so grateful that he ditched work and said, let's go riding, because I would have laid in bed and cried and been pissy all day long, because that's what I wanted to do.
Right.
So, and not even for a reason. You want to know what the worst part of the weekend was? Everybody paid with credit cards, and it pissed me off because I wanted to see the money in my hand, because I gave them physically what they wanted, and then they gave me the card. And so I don't feel like we really, I don't feel like
because you don't see the
you don't see
bulk.
it. So that's my biggest complaint. Really, do I have anything to complain about? Absolutely not. But there is something that makes me happy about seeing money in my hands. Like,
well, because it's tangible.
Yes.
Yeah. I can totally understand that. Yeah. When it's hard not getting like swapping things, the old barter system. I can totally get that. It's interesting.
I think about it. I'm like, really? You don't even have a reason to complain. Stop your shit. Like, you made it. You were interviewed for the newspaper. You sold half of everything you made. Like, I sold 6 months worth of work in 2 days. So yeah, there's nothing really to complain about. I was just really tired, and I was so grateful that he dug me out of that hole, because once I get into it and I want to cry, I'll do it for a couple of days. And it has nothing to do with anything recently even going on. It's it could be stuff from years ago that I didn't deal with or didn't get out of my system. So it was a good time. It's a really good time.
It's an interesting thing too, because when you start a hobby for whatever reason,
like a podcast, maybe
a podcast,
like anything.
Yeah, photography, whatever it is. Like, because me and you, like, my hobbies always turned into something crazy, right? So like wrestling turned into a 20-year career, where also I was in the newspaper several times. I was in magazines. I have DVD covers that were in Best Buy. Like, it's pretty cool. Like, it is neat when you have something that you can look back on and see a quote, or and if you can get is it digital or is it a real paper?
I read it online.
So what I would do is I would screenshot that just so you have it.
Yeah.
So you can keep it, because somewhere in a box somewhere I have like the magazines that me and my old partner were in, or whatever was around. I tried to keep most of that. It's in a box somewhere. But those hobbies turn into something, and then the next thing you know, you're like, there's a fine line between hobby and business. You know what I mean? So like photography, I love taking pictures of people. There's nothing better than either families or taking pictures of people and making them feel pretty. It's just great. But every single person I know is like, you should be making money. You should be making money, blah, blah. And they just pound it into me. And it's to the point where I'm like, I probably could, and I could probably do, a nice secondary income, but then it becomes a job.
Yes.
It's like, do I want another job? It's like,
yeah, but isn't it cool that things that interest you turn into money-making opportunities? Like, I put a lot of money into everything that I do. Like, it seems like, having a hobby of a bike it takes a lot of money. Like, every time we go out, it's another tank of gas. Every 5,000 miles, it's another take it in and get it serviced. And this isn't for me to get back and forth to work. This is for me to just screw around on. Like, this is for me to hang out with my friends. This is for me to entertain me. But it cost a shit ton of money. You know, the podcast and stuff, when we started, I had to buy a computer, and you gave me most of the stuff I have, like 90% of it. Absolutely. But it was still, it costs money to get started. The baskets, I can't tell you how much money we put into baskets, but I wonder if we've even recouped our money.
Right. See, I think that's what you need to start doing now is putting yourself, again, not like a crazy business. You don't want to get out of control because you still want to enjoy it.
Yeah.
But you should kind of go, okay, this is what we spent. This is what we made. Where's the in between? Yeah. It's like, look, I've done photos for a long time. I've spent way more money than I've ever made.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
And I mean, by a lot.
For sure. But then I also think of it, I needed something that kept me busy. I needed something that kept my cousins around me. I needed something that gave me pride. And so, putting the money out, it would be like I could go to the movies and I could spend $50-$60 at the movies. No problem. But
yeah, quickly.
It's 2 hours and I have nothing to show for it. We spend the whole day together. We get lunch. We sit down. We shoot the shit. We may smoke a little weed. I can't believe I'm saying that.
Whoa.
I know.
My goodness.
And we do a lot of prayer and we put a lot of our heart into these things when we're doing them. And what's the cost of all that? Like, I think it didn't cost anything. The value we get out of it is way better. And I enjoy it. I really do. I don't like the part of having to put myself out there for people to judge my work, because that still makes me a little insecure. I'm not going to lie.
Sure.
But most people are like, oh my gosh, I've never seen anything like this. I'm so impressed. Like, I really like it. So for that reason, I enjoy doing it. It's been, I'm always in my life doing something that's completely out of my comfort zone. Like, I could tell you probably 30 things off the top of my head I've done that was so out of my comfort zone, and I did not know what I was doing. And lo and behold, I make something out of it. So I'm kind of blessed in that way that I could do that. And it does make me happy. It was a really good time. And I don't know, it's a part of me, and I just get to be me. And I have a friend that always says, just be you, just be you, just be you. Who cares if they judge you? Who cares what they say? I've been judged by family my whole life. Like, people think now that they judge me that it's going to hurt my feelings. And I'm like, you're not shit compared to what I grew up with. So I don't care. But the judgment still makes me a little insecure. But I know that when I'm feeling like I'm insecure, it's a green light for me to bust through and do it anyway. And and so when my friend said, just do it anyway, I'm like, I'm doing it. It's just still not easy, damn it. Like, let me get my bearings and I'll get back to it, It's been kind of cool. I kind of like who I'm becoming as a person. Now that I'm in my 50s, I could say that. And not when I met you, I was not that way at all.
I think the biggest thing for doing what you're doing, yes. And it's funny because that you're kind of weird about, being in front of all those people, and you're in the customer service industry.
Yeah. But that's one person, not, we had 8 or 9 people like just walking up and just asking questions all at once. And I'm like, and my cousin, she's not one to answer. She stays quiet and just looks to me like if somebody says, "Oh, these are beautiful," I'm the one that says thank you. She just like kicks back and lets me do it. And God bless her. I love her to pieces. But sometimes I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't want to do anymore. And she'll just sit there and be like, yeah, she's got it, But I think that's also my personality too. I don't think it's so much her, it's me. It's
right.
Out of control.
But it is, yes, you'll get used to that. I mean, look, I got thrown into doing customer service when I was like 20 years old. Mm-hmm. And I worked at a retail location where like, it's just like that all day long. It was just human being after human being after human being. So yes, it can also be a lot. It'll fuck with your noggin. You can, it can be a crazy thing. The other thing is that you can meet a lot of cool people. You just never know who you're going to meet and where that's going to end up going. So that's kind of an interesting thing as well. And again, then once I got into wrestling, that really broke me of that shit.
Yeah.
When it's only 2 of you and everyone's looking at you, it's, you start to feel like, are they judging my work?
Yeah.
Because and as a performer, that's exactly how you feel. And I did for the first 5 or 7 years. We would go home and watch every tape after we would do it. Mm-hmm. Then you get to about a 10-year veteran and I would fucking go home and get undressed and wash my clothes and go to sleep.
Yeah.
You just go, okay, I know what I'm doing I know where I'm at. I'm good at what I do. They keep hiring me. So in your case, they keep buying. People are buying. You have to look at it to, at some point where performance is just they're buying. So you're doing good. I think in your case, you need to just know that your work is good.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You're going to just get to a point where you look at, baskets you made in the beginning to baskets you make now.
Yeah. I kept a couple because my cousin wouldn't let me throw them away because in the beginning they were shit. They were horrible. They weren't tied. The pine needles weren't tucked in. It was a complete, it looks like a kid made the first few.
Right.
And now I look and I'm like, I dare you to criticize my work. Sit down and see if you could do better. Because that's where I'm at now. I'm at that level. And
sure.
Even with hair and stuff, you talk about it. If I look everything that I've ever enjoyed doing, I make money at. Like who knew I was going to be a hairdresser 34 years later, and that's been my my business for the whole time. And I've ran it myself the whole time. I don't know what I'm doing any of the time I do it. Like, let's start a podcast. We're sitting at Denny's. I had no idea that I was going to commit to something for 4 years.
I know, right?
Like, I think of these things. I'm like, how did I get so far? But then I also think when I'm being insecure, you need to stop acting like a fool because everything you do, you've turned into something that's profited, that's made your life better, that's made you have closer relationships to people. Like you and my cousin, I'm super close with. We work, we have to talk, we have to be close, we have to compromise. I don't think we really compromise. We just go with the flow. Both relationships I have with you and my cousin are very similar. Like, yeah, let's just do it. Okay, let's just try it. Yeah, it's.
I will agree with you though. Like we sat in a Denny's and I talked it up really big, but I was still on my side was going, hope I can do this.
Yeah, you didn't know. We didn't know what venue to produce this on. We didn't know. You didn't know how to edit. You didn't know. I don't know how you did that. Like, I think about that all the time. It's a good thing he knew because I had a hard time getting my stuff that I need to plug in to be able to talk to you. I had a hard
Mhm.
time just managing that. Like this morning when we came on, I said, "Do you hear me?" And you just shook your head no. I was like, "Oh shit. Okay, I got to figure this out." But 4 years in, I mean, come on. You
Yeah,
check the
now you
obvious,
get it.
Yeah.
Well, now you know the list to go down to troubleshoot it. It's like this one, nope, this one.
Yes.
Oh, that's it. Okay, we're good. Yeah, in the very beginning, like thankful for YouTube because it helped me with like the editing side and a lot of the software that I use will kind of walk you through it. But now, like it really kind of works itself through
Mhm.
where it's like, I can edit a show as long as it's not absurdly bumpy or I have to cut it, words out. Cause I don't ever like people. I don't think people don't understand that I don't edit this show at all.
Yeah, you
I
just take
never
the
take,
background noise out of it.
I take background noise out and I take names if we flub. Every blue moon will say like
Mhm.
my son's name or
My brother, my
your brother.
cousin.
Yeah. Whoever.
It's normally me
Somebody's.
that does it.
I've done it a couple times. I do it with my son's name just because I'm used to calling him that. So it's easy to roll off my my mouth when I'm, saying something about him. But, thankfully I learned all that stuff, fairly quickly. And now I can edit a show as long as it's not crazy. I can probably edit a show in under 20 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah, where in the beginning it was, oh man, it was rough. it was really hard in the beginning. Just because I didn't know what to do. Now I have a template. I have filters that are built into that template. So the only thing I do is cut out a little background noise and cut out some names. And every blue moon, if somebody's on the show that doesn't want their voice to be the same, I fix that.
Oh yeah, we've done that too.
Yeah. A couple of people actually that I've tweaked a voice here and there just to hide it because, look, we've had some serious shit on here that if you look back, and it's funny, you talked about weed. There's a show on weed. I just don't know which number it is. But, we've had assault victims. We've had people on that have talked about, serious stuff.
Yeah.
So, I want to make sure to protect the people who are nice enough to come on the show and talk these things with us. So, I think it's important if, for anybody who ever does want to come on the show, just feel that, we work with you for sure.
Yeah.
It's not
you know what,
the other way.
You know what's funny too about all of this is that every bit of it has scared the bejeebus out of me. Like starting a business is not easy. I remember going back to doing hair. I had no idea what I was doing. There were days I was working on clients and I didn't know how to fix their hair. And one of the women that I did a show about her passing, one of the women that I worked with would see me struggling or trying to figure it out. And she would say, "Hey teen, did you get your box in the back? I'm getting ready to leave. So coming back, let me give it to you." And then she would go in back and help me mix whatever I was going to use. And she told me exactly what to do it. And that's how I learned. Like I learned hands-on, not knowing shit about doing hair. And they didn't teach that in school. They don't teach a lot of things in school. So to me, it was like, it was so hard. And I didn't know anybody at 20 that was starting their own business and making a go of it, not knowing shit. And my parents didn't know shit to tell me about it. That, it was all just do it. My mom, when I started in the business at 20 years old, my mom was 39. She hadn't started her own business. She I don't know. Everything I did, my dad says, whenever I hear you talking about doing something, you've already got it figured out and you've probably already got it running before I even find out, because you don't talk about something you don't make happen. And I think that
Yes.
that's for him. I think that's been hard to watch because he's like, she doesn't know what the hell she's doing. I know she doesn't know what the hell she's doing. And here she is just jumping in both feet again, But I think if I could do it, anybody could do it. And I think everybody should find a passion and do something with it and make it something so you see it happen from the ground up. I think that's important.
Yeah, I agree. I had ideas for this show.
Yeah.
This show is pretty much exactly what we talked about at Denny, with a few tweaks here and there. But I think the core idea is exactly what this is 4 years later.
I never even listened to a podcast when we started this. But my friends had said, you're a good talker. You should do a podcast. I'm like, yeah, maybe I will. And then when you said you wanted to do one, I said, well, I wanted to do one too, but I have no idea. It had never was a thought to actually make it happen. It was a thought. Yeah, I should do that. Like it would be something I was open to. And then when we were talking about all of our COVID drama and shit that was going on that we hated, and
all our life issues.
Look at what came out of it. Yeah, because that was a horrible time. Just split up from my ex. I was just moving back home. I couldn't work. The shops were closed down. Like we were literally just shut down. And I couldn't see my friends and I couldn't talk to my people, and my mom wasn't around anymore. And, my dad was here and I was worried about getting him sick just from going out to eat with you. Like we really came a long way. That was a very scary time for both of us. And looking back, it sparked this whole new life that we have. Who knew?
Yeah, that was an interesting sit down for sure.
Yeah.
I know we've probably talked about it like many times, mostly the early shows. But yeah, I was going through a bunch of fun personal issues with people in my life. So yeah, it was nice to sit down and just talk. And then I had zero idea you were going through a divorce. Matter of fact, you told me at the table.
Yeah.
Because like you were like, oh yeah, this. And I was like, huh? I'm sorry.
Yeah. We had decided that we were going to do it. And then I didn't tell anybody for like 9 months.
Yeah. And then I just remember and it was like.
And you were one of the first people I told because it was on my mind and I couldn't keep it off my mind to have a conversation and not tell you. So yeah, I kept my mouth shut, which blows people away. I know that I could keep my mouth shut for 9 months, but I do filter what I say. And it was the most loneliest, most scary time of my life. It was definitely something that I did a lot of crying over, and were we making the right choices and were we doing the right thing? But I think we just ran out and it was time to do that. But looking back, I don't know how I got through it all. I mean, I know I numbed out. But damn, that was a hard 9 months. And you were one of the first people that I told.
Yeah, that was a trying time for us, for sure. I was going through my own crazy shit. And look, at the end of the day, I mean, it's not easy. Divorce is not easy. Just not.
It's
I don't
definitely not. But being with somebody when you know the time is up is harder.
It's worse.
Yeah.
Long run.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mostly, and like I said, I've seen it with friends that were not even married, but with people that they just shouldn't have been with. And it went on forever and ever.
Well, yeah, because before COVID, everybody was so busy with their lives, they weren't living them. They were just staying busy with them.
Mhm.
So when it finally stopped and everybody had to look at what they had, it very much changed. It changed the perspective, like to no end.
Yeah.
So
Well, and I think a lot of people too, once they realized they had to be stuck with people that they weren't in love with anymore for months at a time,
yeah,
it either brought people together or it pushed them apart. It was a powder keg. That was such a wild time, you know. I mean, for goodness sakes, we went to a Denny's with masks on, sat down, took them off, ate, then put them back on and walked out.
yeah.
How our brains were working at that time were in utter chaos.
No, and I was very sick also during that 9-month time. I being a hairdresser and you get varicose veins, so I went and had them they do this procedure where they go into the main veins in your crotch area and they go down and they glue the veins that have problems with them, and then the blood just goes to a different vein. Well, I was highly allergic to that, and I was so sick. I was almost hospitalized, but they didn't hospitalize me because it was COVID. Um, I had a rash from like my waist down all the way. I was swollen, like severely swollen, hot, itchy, sick to my stomach because of the medicine I had to take. Like I was going through all of this in that 9-month span and keeping my darn mouth shut. Like my ex didn't take me to any of the doctor's appointments. He did not stop working to help me. He was in a different place. He just went like silent on me. So like even during that time, he doesn't know how close I was to being hospitalized and sick to the point of they were worried about my breathing and my heart, and it affected so many things. Like and here I am, like starting a podcast in the middle of all of that. Like who? And again, I don't think you knew that was going on.
Mm.
No, one of my mom's best friends, she had to take me to doctor's appointments because my ex just wouldn't. He was checked out,
Right.
and she took me to all of them. She's saved my life so many times. I can't even tell you. I don't know what I would do without her. But during that time, wow, was that hard. And then she was like, I would just cry, and she thought it was about me being sick and it was about me getting divorced, and I still didn't tell her. It was a crazy time. I think we've come a long way.
Yeah. I mean, look, life has a way of changing super quickly.
It does.
And I think as you get older, like we do, you're less likely to let it wait.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like when we were 20, it was so easy to like, it was like lighting a candle, right? You're just like, okay, whatever. We'll wait for it to blow up when it blows up. Now it's like, you got to push it. You're like, well, don't have many years left. I maybe got 30, so I better make it count. And I better make these ones count more because I'm still young.
Yeah. You know, I would honestly say that turning 40 was a huge, it was monumental change in my life. Like everything shifted. We've talked about that. And then when COVID hit 5 years ago, I was like 49. That was a huge reset again. But coming out of it, I think I like who I am way better than I ever have. Like I've dealt with some things that I needed to deal with. I had to reset my triggers and what I worry about. And you know, you have to. I think we've changed so much in the last 5 years. And I think a big part of it was being able to talk about this and doing it, being vulnerable on a podcast.
Sure.
You know, we've done a lot of growth and healing, but damn, does it have to be so freaking hard for us to change? Because I wonder, you know, did the lessons have to be that hard? And I'm sure they did, because we did it. We did something about it. But I don't want to be that slow of a learner anymore.
I totally agree. I'm doing my best to not do that anymore.
I notice you're doing things differently, and I sit back and I just watch, because that's what I do, and we'll talk about it. But you've changed a lot, and how you act to people and things that are happening in your life they've changed dramatically, I think.
Yeah, I just think now, like, you have to be the most honest you can with everything and everyone.
Yeah.
So, I mean, things are changing in my life. My son, he wants to leave the state. So, he's growing up. He's at a point in his life where he wants to do things differently.
Yeah.
So now I need to put my life, I have to start thinking about what my future is, where I'm going to be, what do I want to do? Like, things just change. So I think you have to be able to really kind of sit back now and look at your life from the standpoint of, hey, every decision now is a little serious.
But it's all about me too. It's just about me.
I agree. I think it should be. At some point, it does have to be about you.
Yeah.
And I think everyone should think that way. Look, I love my child uncontrollably, and I've had him since he was 6 years old. I've never not had him in my life.
His whole life, actually.
But I mean, post-divorce.
Yeah.
Post-divorce. Like, yeah. At 6 years old, we got divorced. So he went with me. So I've always had him. So for me, this is something it's totally new. And I want him to do what he wants to do. And, and is it going to be hard? Absolutely. I know being here alone is probably going to be a very difficult thing to do, but that's just part of life. But I want him to go and have fun and do something new and start his life. He's a young man.
Yeah. And you want him to be able to take care of himself like we've learned to take care of ourselves.
Yeah. And I think what he's doing now, he's definitely changed, and he sees life differently now. I think he must have woke up one day at 22 years old and went, oh yeah, I better get my shit together.
Yeah.
I need a career.
Yeah.
And he's hopefully he's going to get into this company and start a career. His sister works for the company, and she has a very solid career, and there's a lot of places to go in this company. So he can go up. So, but yeah, look, things are great, and I think things have moved forward for all of us. And look, I'm glad that you did well with your powwow and your selling.
Yeah.
I think that it's cool that you found a hobby that, for one, it's a good hobby because you only have to leave the house when it's time to sell them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you can do the hobby anywhere. You can kind of sit and do it, which is bitching.
Yeah.
So, it's cool. It's nice to see that you've got and done something that you probably didn't think you'd be doing after you made one basket.
That's totally true.
It's interesting.
Who knew?
Yeah, exactly. I think that should be for everyone now. Every single thing you should do, you should go, who knew? So, you don't know where you're going to be, whether it's, 6 minutes or 6 months.
No, but I guess the lesson is take the leap and do it anyway. Like when it comes up, just go with it.
Yeah.
And find your strength, because you will.
I agree. And I think that sometimes you have to put things to rest while you're doing it.
Yeah.
Some things are your past, and they need to stay in the past. And some things that are the past shouldn't be involved in your future.
Yep. That's
the past is the past. And it's and I've learned lots of things from it. Lots of things from the past. But sometimes it's you gotta make choices and jump in and keep doing whatever it is that makes you happy. Because you're only here once.
I think you should do the things that make you scared, because that's where the most growth comes from. And I think that's
where you end up being happy.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Because the scary shit is the things that at the end you go, oh man, I'm so glad I fucking did this.
That's exactly what I needed. Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what I needed. And I didn't see it coming.
Yep.
So, and because the things that you put a lot of thing into and then it doesn't happen, you go, okay. And you learn a lesson and I want to say that it's not a bad lesson.
Right. It's just something you need to go through. Yep. And it builds strength and character.
Alrighty. Well, 51 minutes later, I got a potty and I got to eat.
Yep. I'm taking Dad for his more chemo. So.
All right. Well, you get going. It's an opinion show. Don't get it twisted. Just, you know where to find us. Oh, and share the show. Share. Thanks for everyone who's been listening. We're having a great month and we're only 7 days in. Thanks for listening and we'll see you in a week. Bye.
See ya.